Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a quick look at and installing the plank-style LED projector headlights with sequential turn signals, black housings, and clear lenses, available for the 2019 and newer Ram 1500, excluding classic models. Now, if you've got the new body-style Ram 1500, you might be looking to modernize the front end of your truck. The new Rams are pretty modern in and of themselves. They have a really aggressive design for the exterior, really modern interior, especially if you got the larger technology package, but the headlights leave a little bit to be desired in my personal opinion. Now, if you agree with me, you might be looking to upgrade them to something that's got a beautiful LED technology, along with a stealthy black housing and a really crisp projector styling. Now, this one is extremely unique in the projector style. It's got 3 individual projector lights, 2 of which will be your low beams, the third one will come along with your high beams, and to add to that upgraded technology is a bright white DRL. Now, this DRL here is going to work in conjunction with your parking lights, so the daytime running light will come on in this bright, crisp white LED, and I gotta say, it is extremely bright and very vibrant. Underneath of that will be your turn signal. Now, the turn signal is very unique too. There's a lot of layers here with this headlight. The turn signal is sequential, so when you flick your turn signals on, it'll blink in sequence inside to out for each of the turn signals, along with your hazard lights. Your parking light will stay stagnant, of course. It's also got the amber parking light on the side there with the reflector. Now, like I said, the inside is a black or a matte black housing, so it's got the stealthier look. The exterior lens here is a clear polycarbonate lens. Altogether makes for a really great quality package, similar to OEM fitment as well. Underneath of your paint match trim here is another black trim panel that comes with the new headlights, similar to the factory lights. Can't see it from the outside, but it's something that's built into the headlight from the inside. You'll get a new panel for that as well to bolt on. Now, this guy is going to be a direct plug and play install. There's no splicing or wiring or none of that nonsense required like some of the other headlights in the category. So if you're willing to pay a couple of extra bucks for some really high quality, very unique headlights, and you don't want to have to worry about any custom wiring, this is a great way to go. Now, the price tag comes in right around 950 bucks, and the install gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Now, anybody can do this in the driveway at home, but I will admit the new 19 Ram body styles do have a lot of additional steps included to get the factory headlights out. You got to remove this trim panel up top, the grille itself, the paint match panels on each side, and then the headlights come out. There's a lot of preliminary steps you have to take, which can be a bit involved in terms of time, but it's not very difficult. I'm going to show you every step of the process. That's going to take you about 2 hours from start to finish. Let's get started. Tools used in the install include an impact gun, 10mm ratcheting wrench is recommended, 8 and 10mm sockets, swivel socket, Phillips head screwdriver, and a panel removal tool. First step here is going to be to pop your hood. We got to get our factory radiator shroud out of the way. Grab a panel removal tool. We're going to remove these plastic push pin clips there. You're basically going to lift up on the center section, just like that, then go up underneath of it and pull it out in one piece. Repeat that for all of them on the shroud. Next, you can lift up on the shroud and set it aside. Now, this large piece of trim here, this chrome trim, has to come off, but in order to do that, we have 10mm bolts going all the way around. In the middle of that, on top of our headlight, is one more of those push pin clips, so that's what we're going to get off here with our panel removal tool. Lift up on that, underneath, do the same thing on the other side. All right, now you can grab your 10mm deep socket and start taking these 10s off. All right, work your way all the way around. Now you can carefully take that trim piece, pull it straight back, and set it aside. Now we're in the wheel well. We've got to take this trim panel off underneath the headlight. In the wheel well, we have 2 8mm bolts holding this guy on, so I'm going to use my impact gun and get these 2 guys off. Repeat that on the other side. Now, there is one more bolt. It's vertically in this little crack here, holding this trim piece to the actual fender. Now, you could take the next bolt up top off, peel back the wheel well liner, and work it off from that way. If you want to make life a little bit easier on you and you have a 10mm ratcheting wrench like I do, you can go right in this hole, hook right onto it, and start working it off. All right, so we use that 10mm method. The bolt does seem to be kind of stuck. If you run into that same issue, the next best solution, take that top bolt off, and peel open this liner. And then you can reach your hand in there and finish the job. All right, so there you go. That was the bolt sticking up right there. And this can peel off just like that now. Repeat that on the other side. All right, from here, from the front end, you can finish peeling that guy off. It pops straight back and set it aside. Again, repeat that on the other side. Next up, we have our grill to take off. Now the grill has this plastic black panel at the top. Connect it with 4 10mm bolts going across. Get those off. Underneath the paint matched panel that we've removed, there are 3 more bolts that we want to get out, 10mm. Next, we can take our grill off all in one piece. You're going to lift up on the top to dislodge it. That way it's not connected there. Go from the bottom, pull straight back, and set it aside. Now at the top edge of our headlight, which we can start removing now, you'll grab your panel removal tool. There's one more of those push pin clips up in the corner. Switch back over to your 10mm socket and get that 10mm bolt off. And we have one more in the side. Next up, we can take the headlight straight out. You're gonna lift up like that. Now the wiring harness in the corner marker light is not very long, so this is about as far out as we can go before disconnecting. So you wanna go back into the corner here where it meets the fender, pinch and disconnect that harness. Then it comes out a little bit more, just enough for us to disconnect the other harness down low. Pinch, disconnect, set your factory headlight aside. So we got our factory headlight off of the driver's side of our 19 Ram behind me, and it's on the table next to our new plank style headlight, the Projector headlight. I want to talk through some similarities and differences between the two kits here. And I got to say, head to toe, start to finish, this is a totally different headlight. Your factory headlight is a reflector style as opposed to a projector style, which is what we have here from the plank style option. And the factory headlight there doesn't really have any modernized DRLs. Now that's something that we expect out of a lot of newer gen trucks. You see that on the new F-150, you see that on some of the new Silverados. So with that said, if you want to modernize that, this is going to be a great way to go. It's going to swap over from, again, the reflector to the projector styling, but it's also going from a chrome reflective interior to a matte black interior housing. That's going to give you the impression of a smoked headlight without actually blacking out the lens itself. This is going to use a clear polycarbonate lens. Now, as far as design goes, the big ticket thing about this guy is going to be the DRL. The daytime running light is that sideways T-shaped figure you see there in white. That's going to light up in a bright LED white light to give you a nice accent light to work in conjunction with your parking lights and headlights. So that DRL is a lot more modern than some of the factory, very traditional headlights you see here like we had on our 19. In addition to that, not only are you getting a projector style headlight, but it's more of a triple projector headlight. There are 3 individual lights. The outermost 2 will work with your low beam. The innermost one will work with your high beam. So when you flick the regular low beam headlights on, you'll just get those 2. When you illuminate your high beams, you'll get all 3, with the innermost one being the brightest there. That's going to be a lot brighter than your factory bulbs. Swapping over to the new technology here, it's a lot brighter, it's a lot more attractive. It's kind of more of a pure white light as opposed to some of the yellowish tints you get with factory bulbs traditionally. Overall, big upgrade there. Now, there are a couple of resistor boxes on the back that you can opt to 3M inside of the vehicle so they don't flop around. That's personal preference. They come with 3M tape already pre-applied to the back there to make it easier on you. There's no splicing involved, of course. Right out of the box, it is plug and play, so that's what we're going to do next. There are a couple of preliminary steps we have to take here on the table. As you can see, the factory headlight comes as a one piece with the factory trim piece under it. Now, we have a new trim piece that's given to you in the kit, but it's not pre-installed, so we have to bolt that up first to make sure that it's mimicking that factory design. So let's do that next. First thing you want to do for the black trim panel is install this metal threaded clip right to the side just like that. Now we can mount this onto the headlight. So that drops right in place. Now to hold this guy on, from the bottom, you're going to put 3 Phillips head screws in. Grab a Phillips head screwdriver and tighten those down. Repeat that same thing for the other headlight, and now we can install it. First thing I'm going to do here is mount our resistors. Now, again, you can put these wherever you see fit. So you just want to make sure wherever you're mounting them isn't going to interfere with the headlight being installed. What I'm going to do is peel off these 3M backings, and I'm actually going to stick them right in this divot here. Pop that guy right in place. Make sure it's a flat surface. And for the other one, I'm just going to stack it right on top. All right, so that'll be out of the way. All right, so now we can plug and play that factory harness right into the headlight, and then we have to plug our parking light in, which you remember is a really short wire, so you're going to have to mount the headlight at least halfway in order to get that guy in. Here in the corner, click that guy in, and then mount your headlight. Grab your factory hardware and bolt it back down to the top. Next, we're just going to put our one 10mm bolt in here. The other one, again, is for when the grille is mounted. Grab your 10 socket and tighten this one down. Now we can do the one in the corner. Grab one of the 10mm black bolts included in the kit. You're going to put that through the black plastic trim here into the headlight. Now you can repeat this whole process for the other headlight on the other side. All right, once you have the other headlight installed, we can pop our grille back in place and start putting things back together. All right, so now you can take the longer bolts and put them back down at the bottom to connect the headlight and the grille. That bolt's one included in the kit. Repeat that for the other side of the grille, and now we can do the top section. Next, we can do the 4 bolts going across the top of the grille, the 2 ends connected to the headlights as well. Next, you can take that long piece, that long chrome trim piece, set it back on top of the grille. Now we can put the 10mm all across it. All right, now before we do the trim panels underneath of the headlights, let's toss our radiator shroud back in since we're already focusing on under the hood. Grab those push pin clips and put them all back in. Now we can focus on those plastic panels. Now you can do those pre-painted panels. They're going to snap right back on under the headlights. And put your screws back in the wheel well. So remember, there was one inside this little fender well, so you want to start threading that guy back in to help hold it in place. All right, tighten it down with an 8mm. Now we can reconnect our fender well liner. All right, and put the 3 8mm back in there. Repeat that on the other side, and you're good to go. That's going to wrap up my review and install for the Plank style LED projector headlights with the sequential turn signals, black housing, and clear lens. Available for the 2019 and newer Ram 1500s, excluding classic models. You can get yours right here at AmericanTrucks.com.